Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty Black Ops 4 video. Tonight's video is very highly requested. This is going to be the top 5 best guns or weapons in Black Ops 4 multiplayer in my opinion after patch 1.13 because this did shake up the guns, and this video is not going to be in any particular order. So I'm just going to be basically talking about the top 5, but I'm not going to be ordering them 1 through 5 because that depends on personal preference, playstyle, and the update has only been out less than a week, so we really don't know yet where all this stuff is going to land. But these are some weapons that, and how I think the buffs impacted them, or the nerfs, or whatever, just the change in meta. Going to show gameplay of multiple of all the weapons here, and also have some honorable mentions. So if you guys could drop a like, that would be awesome. Let's go for 2,000 likes. That would be absolutely amazing. If we could hit that, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and not already subscribed, and hit that notification bell right next to the sub button to be notified when I upload new videos. Smash that like, and let's get right into it. So first one we're going to be talking about here is going to be the Vapor. Now the Vapor is a top 5 weapon in this game in my opinion as of right now, because of the fact that, when the meta shifts, when a lot of guns are nerfed, weapons that aren't nerfed or weapons that are buffed are going to move up the food chain, I guess you could say. What happened with this Vapor is 2 nice buffs. They increased the 5-hit kill range from 34.7 yards to 50 yards, an absolutely ridiculous buff, which is probably like one of the biggest buffs that any of these weapons saw to this AR with the Vapor. And they also improved the ADS idle to sway less, which won't have that big of an impact. But with this weapon before, usually you would want to use long barrel on it, and you can still do that with long barrel and double down, or you can do like I was doing in this gameplay, and all these gameplays are after patch gameplays I got today. You can see basically like this gun, I was using it with rapid fire here, and it's still steady with rapid fire, and you can still do damage at range. And I think the Vapor is a really nice weapon in this game. Who knows if it's the best weapon in this game? That's up, that's why I'm not going to be layering these weapons, but I think it definitely does deserve this spot in the top 5, and that this Vapor is a very strong, it was already a strong assault rifle, and now it's gone even a little bit higher up on that list. Next one is basically going to be the same thing, the KN57, which was already on my top 5s before. The Vapor was not on my top 5 before, the KN was, and this gun was also strengthened with this update. So this was already what I would say before the update was probably the second best AR, and with this update, with the Maddox being nerfed a little bit, and this weapon, the buff they did is they increased the max damage range from 15.2 yards to 17.3 yards, so not the biggest changes. But with this KN, I think that the fact that this weapon was already strong, and then this buff, and with everything reshaping, this weapon is still steady and still a go-to weapon in this game. And the attachment that I like to run with it on this is the rapid fire as well, because when you have a weapon like the Maddox in this game, even with the fast firing or the after nerf, or after after the nerf and then after the buff of the Maddox, you still need to have a fast firing AR to try to compete with that. And even these SMGs that are getting hit with nerfs, they still have crazy fire rates and a crazy fast time to kill. And that's why I think that rapid fire on assault rifles is very underrated in this game, and it's something that I use a lot more. But the KN57 I think deserves a spot on this list for sure. It would have been it was on this list before, it's on this list after this update, because it really hasn't been affected. And I think the reason why is because when you have one big target, like the Maddox was clearly the best gun in the game before this update, so they targeted the majority of the nerfs at that from the assault rifle category, right? And then other guns that were maybe sitting in that second or third spot got tiny little buffs, or maybe just didn't even get messed with at all, and those weapons become even stronger. And that's where I think the KN is at. This is honestly one of my favorite weapons in the game. It's definitely top 3 in my opinion as like favorite weapons. It's fun to use. It's a weapon that's been, the KN we know from obviously previous Black Ops games, Black Ops 3, and the class steps you can make on this thing are awesome because it has hybrid mags, one of the best attachments in this game, stock, which is incredible on assault rifles but isn't available on every single one, and then that third one you can go grip, you can go rapid fire, do whatever you want with it. I like rapid fire to make that fire rate compete up close, and then it sort of becomes a Russian assault rifle class setup. Next, what we have on this list, number 3, is going to be the SOG 9mm. Now the SOG 9mm received quite a bit of nerfs with this weapon, but when we're talking about top 5 weapons after this update, it still deserves a spot on this list even after all of those nerfs, and I'm going to tell you why. The nerfs that happened to this weapon, okay, before this update, it was by far, it was the SOG 9mm was the best overall SMG, and the Spitfire was the best at close range of SMGs. And the reason why the SOG is so good, it's basically for 3 reasons before the update. One, the fire rate is very good on this weapon, around 900, I think it's somewhere around there, and then also the accuracy, it's controllable for the fire rate. And then the other one is that the attachments would actually boost this weapon more than they would on other weapons. So like having stock 2 was more effective on this than having stock 2 on other weapons. Same with quick draw, same with other attachments. And that's what this nerf kind of targeted. You can see the patch notes up on the screen. They reduced the sprint out speed and the base move speed, but they reduced it to now where it's the same as the other SMGs. So even after this nerf, it still is equal to the other ones with that. Same, not the same with, but with stock 1, stock 2, and grip. Personally, I didn't run grip with this already, so that nerf did not affect at all. Stock, I did run, and I would run stock 1 and stock 2. And now I think what you can do is instead of running stock 2, you still go with the stock 1, but then you slap on quick draw and fast mags. And then, of course, they did nerf on console. They did nerf the dual wield quite significantly, but we're talking about the straight up weapon. I still think this is a top 5 weapon in the game, and the SMGs got shooken up a lot. And there was a lot of nerfs to SMGs. The GKS and MX9 got buffs, but then the Spitfire, Cordite, and SOG got nerfed, right? So I still think the SOG is the go-to out of the SMGs, just for the fact that it's still very controllable, the recoil. You don't even need a grip on it. I never used a grip. I mean, I did for sometimes, but not right before the update. And then the stock changes. You can just run with stock 1. And by the way, nerfing stock, it's already on an SMG, so it's already super fast. And they've brought it more to where I still think this is the super strong SMG, but it's more even along with the other weapons. And that's sort of the same thing they did with the Maddox also. And that's why this video, we're talking about the patch notes and we're talking about after patch, but I still got to be objective and say that, yeah, this gun, it went down in stock after this update because it was negative. It was nerfed to this weapon. However, they also nerfed a lot of its competitors, and this gun was so far ahead of them before. I still think it is ahead, and I still think the SOG 9mm, I mean, it's just a go-to SMG. You're still going to be able to do great with it. Next is the Maddox, and the Maddox still deserves a spot on this list. I see some people, after the first time they nerfed it, yeah, this weapon was not very good because of the recoil that they made crazy, but now that they've rebalanced it, and I'm talking about the video, I'm making this video on February 24th, the night of February 24th, so they nerfed this weapon heavily, and then they rebuffed it a little bit. So, but overall, it still is a nerf, but the second and third shots now have more recoil, and also attachments aren't as effective with it. Basically, with quick draw 1, quick draw 2, stock, and the elo sight. So I still think though, like the SOG 9mm with the Maddox, it was the best before, and it might not be the best. You could definitely argue that, but top 5, I still think it is a top 5 weapon in this game because it's not too hard to control. That second and third bullets are really the only ones that have more recoil now, and the fire rate is still stupid fast, and the damage is still stupid good, that the Maddox is still a really, really good go-to weapon. And I think the thing with the Maddox is that the way that the maps work in this game, a weapon like the ICR, doesn't have as much mobility, doesn't have stock available on it, but its strength is being deadly at range. However, the way the maps are designed, this game is a 5v5 traditionally for like domination, and they mixed that up from previous CODs where it was all 6v6, right? These maps are smaller and more, small to medium sized, and that is perfect for a weapon that is a fast fire rate yet controllable to still win those medium or longer range engagements. Maddox still is a great weapon. If people tell you this weapon sucks now, don't really listen to them. I mean, I made a video on this one already. I think the Echo Fire is still good. I think the weapon is still good. And if anything, yes, it's noticeable that there is a tad more recoil in that second and third shot. But if you go into a private match, if you practice with this weapon, you learn that recoil pattern, and you learn that it's going to push you up to the right. You learn to start shooting on the left side of enemies, or like, obviously hitting them in the body, but a tiny bit on that left side where that recoil will take you and make you not be able to miss shots. These are all advanced tactics, but the Maddox is still a super strong weapon, and you'll still see a lot of good players go to this weapon. And then coming in at the number 5 slot, this is one where the buffs really did mix it up. And these buffs, by the way, we got to go to our honorable mentions first of all, because this one, it could have been other weapons in this slot, because my honorable mentions are the Rampart Assault Rifle, which received the max damage range increase from 37.6 yards to 41.6 yards. Rampart is really deadly now. It always has been pretty deadly. And then the other tactical rifles as well. Big shout out to them. The tactical rifles was probably the class of weapons that received the biggest upswing with this update, but I'm giving this one to the Auger DMR, and the reason why is I know some people would probably say that they would rather put an ABR here or a Swordfish, but the Auger received so many, the 3 buffs it received were so significant because I play with this weapon with the double tap operator mod, and when you throw in high caliber 1 and high caliber 2 with this, you have the you can literally delete people with a 1 burst of 2 2 shots if you're hitting those shots and using that high caliber 1 or high caliber 2. So the Auger DMRs, the 3 buffs it received were buffs that it really needed. Number 1 was increasing its ADS move speed. This gun does not have stock, and that's probably its biggest weakness. It's not very good at close range, and it doesn't have stock, but increasing the ADS move speed is pretty nice, and you can move a tiny bit faster with it now. Increasing the firing speed also, because it's semi-automatic, is very significant, because if you have a fast trigger finger, you want a weapon that's going to keep up. And then they also, with the double tap operator mod, improve the firing time between shots. So it's a significant buff, and I know some people probably haven't used this weapon as much, but I think this is a sleeper pick that you'll see a lot more people picking up on. And the biggest weakness around this is close range. It's trash. It really does suck close range, but I think the way to make up for that is maybe by having like an RK7 pistol or something, or a shotgun secondary. I'm trying to experiment around with the class step as far as that right now. But as far as not having stock, I know a lot of people don't even like. For me, stock is something I always go to. But if you're someone that doesn't even care about stock on like ARs or tactical rifles, use this weapon now. Double tap. I'm telling you, this weapon is unique because you have to play a certain way with it. But if you do, you have that double tap operator mod. You're using high caliber. You're going for those effective shots. They're going to do the most damage. You will be deleting people, and this weapon can be a lot of fun to use. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Of course, this update did really shake up the meta. It's got some new weapons in this top 5, some old weapons that were already in here but are moving up and down the scale. But I didn't want to rank them in this first video because this update just hasn't been out long enough to do that yet, I don't think. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I'll see you all in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.